Hey guys, TB back with you again, and today I'd like to talk to you about an item that I carry on my gear belt, and that's called an IFAK. And a lot of people don't know what that is, they don't know what it means, unless they're really familiar with military. But anyway, I'd like to explain that to you, show you what an IFAK consists of, so stick with me and we'll get right to it. Belt up here. This is an IFAK, and has a red cross on it, so everybody knows it's a first aid kit. Now, IFAK means individual first aid kit, but it's kind of true, it's kind of not true, because it's not just a first aid kit that you're going to use generally on yourself. You might occasionally use it for treating some small injury or something like that, but in general, this is carried on your combat belt so that if you get injured, someone that comes up to assist you has all the supplies they need to treat trauma. And like I said, sure, you can wrap a cut with this, stuff like that, but this is really more or less a trauma kit if you've been seriously injured. And that gives the person assisting you the kit that they need, and everybody in the battlefield wears one. So everybody's got their own IFAK on them, so you approach them, you use their IFAK on them. It's, like I said, let me show you some of the items that are in here, and I'll pop up a picture here and on the side and show you what it looks like so you can see everything that's in here. But you've got a basically non-adhesive bandage in here, and this is a bandage that's kind of like an ACE bandage, very stretchy. It doesn't really have glue or adhesive on it, but it does stick to itself. So you can wrap a wound or a gauze pad or something like that with this wrap. Works very well. Now, if you need to tape something, I also carry a roll in here of 2-inch silk tape, which is a high-grade medical tape, and you use that for sealing gauze pads, anything else that you need to treat a wound and get it sealed up. Another thing I carry in here, of course, is a tourniquet, and I upgraded this kit and I bought my own tourniquet because I wanted a high-grade unit. So I have what's called a soft T tourniquet, and it's pretty neat because it even has a piece of material at the top where it has the time, and you write the time in when you apply the tourniquet because you don't want to leave it closed tight forever. You have to occasionally release it and let some blood flow. So you carry a Sharpie marker, and you can write that time down so the next person that treats you, be it a doctor or at a medical facility, knows how long that tourniquet's been sealed when they take you in as a patient. Also carry several packs of sterile nitrile gloves in here. The person that's treating you is going to need those, of course. Another thing you carry is if someone's having problems breathing, you're not going to do a tracheotomy out in the field. You're not going to poke a hole in their throat to open their airway. What you do is you use what's called a nasal tube, and with a little lubrication on this, it goes up the nose and down into the throat, and it's got a little lip on it here, so it's going to stop at the edge of your nose, and that allows them to get air in and out of their lungs very easily without having to do a tracheotomy in the field, which you're not going to do. There's a lot of bandages in here, 4x4, just standard gauze rolls. I carry quite a few of those in here. I've got some over here, some down here. I also have betadine pads in here, alcohol sterile pads for cleaning a wound if you have to. I've got some more square gauze that you can fold out and use to cover a larger wound. One of the other things I carry in here are called Israeli bandages. Now, these are 4-inch gauze bandages, and these are adhesive. So once you use an Israeli bandage, it's going to stick to itself. But you can use that to really tightly wrap any kind of serious wound and keep it sealed because it's going to have that compression to it that's really going to work well. Another problem you have if you get injured in the field is sometimes you'll get air in between your chest and your lungs, between your ribs and your lungs, and that creates a lot of tension on your lungs, and it makes it very hard to breathe. to release that tension, which is basically an air buildup in your pleural section, is you have a 14 gauge chest decompression needle. And you take this out, you go about the third rib over here on the front side, and basically you're going to puncture that in through the rib cartilage. And what that's going to do is that's going to let the air out of your lungs so that it takes the tension off of your, it takes the air out of your pleural section, so it releases the tension on your lungs. But anyway, that's what a chest decompression needle is for. Like I said, also I carry a lot of extra 4x4 gauze pads in here and things like that. Well, the important things that you carry is these are called high vents, high fin vents, and these are wound pads. And this is if you say you take a bullet and you've got an entrance wound and an exit wound, there's two pads in this package, self-adhesive, and they are going to very much seal that entrance and exit wound to stop any bleeding and let them be able to transport and get you to real medical care that you may need. And like I said, there's a lot of little miscellaneous items in here. I'm not going to go through every single one of them, you know, like little alcohol wraps and things like that. But that's the basics of an IFAK. And everyone carries one. It's a requirement. And the group I run with around here, we all have our belts, and we all carry IFAKs. And we actually have a detailed list of everything that has to be in your IFAK. And like I said, I wear this on my combat belt, which is, you know, loaded with a lot of magazines and a lot of accessories and things that, you know, I carry out in the field. So it's a good 12-pound belt to have around your waist. So I use the suspenders on it, which helps a lot, and you know, shifts the weight from all on your waist to a little on your shoulders, a little on your waist. Makes it a lot easier to carry and run around with and crawl with if you have to. And but anyway, the IFAK is a very necessary piece of kit that you have to carry with you if you're doing any kind of operations like that. And I wanted to kind of just give you the basics of it and explain that to you guys. And anyway, thanks for joining me today, and subscribe, click on like, and I'll gladly see you guys on the next video. Thanks for watching.